This video is going to be a compilation of an entire walk down into Petra, right from the Petra Visitor Centre down the open area where you can hire a horse if you want, right through to the sick. It will go through and show you all of the different highlights of going when you're walking down the sick. And then when you come to the Treasury, it will walk you through the street of Facades, going down towards the Roman amphitheatre. It will have an excursion up to the urn tomb. So this is going to be 17 minutes of just vision of walking through Petra. As you walk through the Sikh, you can see the different colour variances in the sandstone. The footpath or the paving is a little uneven. Sometimes it's loose sand, sometimes it's concrete, and sometimes it's large rock. So when you're walking down the Sikh, watch out for the elephant, the stone that is shaped like an elephant. There are carvings in the side of the wall that is the camel herder and his camels taking his goods down into Petra. And of course the entire Sikh has the water channel down both sides, most places where it is the original water channel to guide the water from the top of the Sikh down into Petra itself. Coming to the end of the Sikh, you will first see your glimpse of the Treasury peeking between the walls. It is a very beautiful and awe-inspiring vision as you come out of the Sikh and see the Treasury for the first time. There are toilets and a little cafe. There is eateries all through Petra itself. You don't have to bring your own water or snacks, but I choose to just because it's more economical. And what I do is I freeze it the night before. So over the course of my day, I have got cool water to have while I am down in Petra. Walking through the street of Facades, these little souks, these little shops aren't there anymore. The last time I went, this is a pretty old vision, but on a very beautiful hot day down in Petra, always wear a hat, sunscreen and light cotton clothing so that you don't get sunburned. There is not much shade when you are down in Petra. doesn't matter which way you look, there is always an amazing photo to be had. When you're walking down towards the Roman amphitheatre, when you're coming down, it is on the left. Some amazing opportunities to take some vision from there, looking up towards the urn tomb and the royal tombs. But if you are up on the royal tombs, you have a pretty distant glimpse of the amphitheatre from up high. There are tracks to go up some of these walls. This is the Roman amphitheatre. There is so much that you can do walking and taking amazing photographs of Petra. Looking up towards the urn tomb, you can hire a donkey if you want. You negotiate the price. I don't know if it's a set price or not. Or you can just walk. I just choose to walk. There is little cafes and toilet blocks every few hundred meters. Then once you've come out of the street of facades, you turn around at the kind of bridge area, and then you walk down towards the colonnaded street. And the colonnaded street has uneven surfaces, once again soft sand and large rocks, but on the left you will have the Grand Temple, the Great Temple, and over to the right, over to the left you'll have the Grand Temple, over to the right, up on the top of the hill you will have the Petra Church and the Church of the Winged Lion. So walking down the colonnaded streets, named because of all of those columns, uneven surfaces. So I'm not sure if horse carriages can come down this far now. Things have changed over the last year. You can see al-Bint there in the distance. That is the basin, and that is where you would be either stopping and turning around up to the Great Temple. Absolutely beautiful hexagonal tiles or on the ground, just beautiful. But if you were going down and you only had time to get to al-Bint and turn around and come back, that is still an amazing visit to Petra. But if you do want to go further on, you go up to the right through the canyon, through the Sikh up to the monastery, which would takes me another couple of hours to do. It's exhausting, whether it is 999 stairs, it is an amazing achievement to do, but if you don't do that, that is absolutely fine. Just doing all of these things on the main trail is enough of an experience. This is still exploring the Great Temple, but just in a general overall chat about when you visit Petra, you might not get to see all of Petra on your first day. What you can do is pace yourself, see all the things on the flat on the first day, and then go up to the monastery on the second day, or vice versa. Wipe yourself out, head straight up to the monastery, which is right to the far end of the Petra Park, and then exhaust yourself. Then once you go back to your hotel that night, you recover. So then the next day, if you go down, you can just do these things that are more on the flat or don't necessarily require as much climbing. If you are going to visit, for example, the royal tombs and the urn tomb, what I choose to do is walk right down to the far end to the basin, go up to the right, walk past the Church of the Winged Lion, the Petra Church, walk across the ridge over the rebar bridge, and you come up to the royal tombs that way. You do not have to walk. This is to the right of the vision that you are seeing there. So if you do it that way, you don't have to climb up all of the stairs up to the urn tomb. So once you get to the urn tomb, going the way that I've explained, by going down to the basin, up onto the ridge, you actually just come down the stairs at the urn tomb instead of having to walk up the stairs. Yeah, walking across the walking across the ridge here, looking over the rest of the park is the best way of getting the most out of your visit to Petra. There is little cafes and toilets dotted all around Petra. So once again, you don't have to take your own snacks, but I choose to. The prices are a little expensive, but that is, you are supporting the local Bedouins. So this is the Petra Church, absolutely beautiful mosaics. This is across the top of the ridge as you are walking back towards the Treasury itself, over the ridge, and then heading towards the royal tombs and the urn tomb. That is just a beautiful font, a cruciform font, just beautiful. That's looking over towards the royal tombs and the urn tomb. Just magnificent. The whole park is amazing. This to me is the most terrifying part of the whole visit to Petra, walking across the rebar bridge. My key is don't look down, just keep walking, keep your head up. It's terrifying, but I've done it enough times now, 3 or 4 times, and it still stands. The surface is very rough, loose sand, small rocks, large rocks, so be careful with your footing. Always wear a hat, sunscreen and light cotton clothing, especially keeping your arms covered because there is no shade when you are in Petra. Finishing walking across the ridge, and you can see the royal tombs, the urn tomb, the royal tomb, the Corinth tomb and the silk tomb, and a little further up is the urn tomb. Access to these varies when they are doing restoration, but it is such a beautiful walk. It's something you should always try and do when you visit Petra. This vision coming into the royal tombs, the Corinth tomb and the silk tomb, is potentially pretty rare now if nobody can gain access. The last time I was there in 2024, the areas were barricaded off with a wire fence. So it probably is not a situation where you're able to get this close anymore to the royal tomb, the Corinth tomb and the silk tomb. So as you go in, you can see the variations in colour of the sandstone and the niches that are carved out of the solid rock. These are some of the stairs that I suggest that you try to avoid if you can, but you still have to go up some stairs to the urn tomb once you have come right from the basin across the top of the park to the royal tombs, walking up towards the urn tomb, which you can still get access, or you still could get access to it in July of 2024. I'll be heading back there in a couple of months, so I will be able to give you some feedback. Inside the urn tomb, absolutely beautiful. It's called the urn tomb because when they found it, it had an urn in it. Walking down, you can see all of the park, these little souks. Some are there now and some aren't. They have really cleaned up the park, especially with a lot of the traders. Doesn't the urn tomb look just beautiful? Looks like a little screaming face, like 2 eyes, a nose and a big open mouth. Some parts of the path are very, very easy. None of the stairs have handrails, so if you are using walking poles, it is a lot easier for you. Just amazing view. Doesn't look like a little screamy face, just beautiful. Looking over the rest of the park here at Petra. So this is what you should expect when you come to visit Petra. Most days are okay. Avoid days that are going to be raining. It does make it very, very slippery. But for the 4th time or the 3rd time, I say wear a hat, sunscreen and long sleeves. Drink lots of water as you go. What I often do is I put an electrolyte solution into water, into one of my water bottles, and I sip it through the whole day. So even with the sweating, I am not losing these base salts, I'm not losing the salts, and I still have a fairly good electrolyte balance even though I am sweating. You can hire to ride on the camels. The camels that are at the Treasury will just walk you around the Treasury area, where these other ones will walk you right down to the far end of the park, down towards the basin. So sometimes in the shaded area it is absolutely beautiful. If in the broad sunlight it is a bit of a challenge. So this is heading back towards the Treasury, and then I would walk back up through the Sick. There is an electric buggy now for people who do not want to go from the Petra Visitors Centre to the Treasury by walking. There is an electric buggy which is about 15 JD one way and 20 or 25 JD the other. Have an amazing visit to Petra. Stay safe everybody, and happy travels.